over the last 10 years since 2016, March 2016, I have been a student of the creation process. And what I mean by the creation process is we are creators. Human beings are creators. We are part of God, and God is within us, and the kingdom of heaven was within. And here we're not separate from God. We're part of. We are a piece of. We are an aspect of. And God is a creator, and so are we. And that's why some people have built huge empires in businesses, and that's why someone would build a company that makes rockets that wants to go to Mars, and that's why someone creates wealth for themselves or whatever. We are creative beings. We are creators. Human beings, the spirit that we are within the human form, which is you have a mind, you have a mind, you have a body, but you are the soul. The spiritual essence that's inside of this body that's using the mind is a creative force. And over the last few episodes, I've shared a kind of a new approach that I've been taking to teach that, is that the soul carries a dream. The soul comes into this human experience to experience something. So the soul carries a dream. The mind creates. The mind can plan, can strategize, can execute, can build, right? So where we get really clear about what that dream is, and we can start to create it in the world. So where the soul carries the dream and the mind creates, I've recently come to the realization, I guess, the epiphany for me is that the body receives, and the body is a tool of receptivity. And if the body is not willing to receive, then we won't receive it. Just like, when I talk about my retreat in Miami, the Inner Wealth Mastermind retreat, where right after we came back from the retreat, my mastermind started falling apart. It's because my body wasn't willing to literally receive and hold that level of financial abundance and that level of acceptance. And this is what self-sabotage is all about. It's the body's lack of willingness to participate and to receive. So where money is, we could have money in a bank account. If we have wealth in a bank account, but we feel broke, it's because the body hasn't received the money in it. If we have massive businesses and we're super successful and we impact the world and the evidence is there, but inside you still feel like a fraud or an imposter or a failure, then it's because your body hasn't received it yet. If you're in an awesome relationship and you are loved, but you feel unloved or you feel unlovable, it's because your body's not willing to receive the love that's there. We can be safe and completely safe and secure in our circumstances, but yet our body feels unsafe and our body feels insecure because our body is unwilling to receive the safety and security. So if the body doesn't receive it, we're not really experiencing, because we experience the world through our body. And all of this is kind of come to some sense of clarity and understanding in me over the past few weeks. And hopefully go back and listen to a few episodes, and hopefully listen to all of them. But if you go back at least, 3 or 4, you're going to start to see me starting to build this out and this new framework of understanding that the soul carries the dream, the mind creates the dream, and the body receives the dream. And that has been, for me, in my experience, the dream has been there. My mind is creative as all get out, but it's that last piece, that body receiving, that has been the struggle for me. And that has been my lifelong challenge that I'm working through. And hopefully, if you are a listener to this podcast, hopefully you are too. And hopefully you're doing the work. And I've got a great meditation called Installing Future You, and it's available on YouTube, and it's also available in my meditation package. But Installing Future You is an awesome meditation to help us allow the body and invite the body to receive what we want. And we're going to talk about that a little more. And we've talked about it on prior episodes. This isn't new stuff. All right. But today I want to share a kind of a new framework, a new little piece, new little wrinkle to this, because again, I'm building this out. And I'm also, I've begun the planning phases and the organization phases of my, the next book that I plan to publish. And it's titled, the working title is Built to Give, Rebuilt to Receive, because I have been an awesome giver in life, but I haven't always had the willingness or the courage or the whatever to receive, the openness to receive. So this is why things have, I can watch everybody else build massive things. And I'm just starting to realize it's because my body hasn't been willing to receive or hold. Okay. So this is why everyone else had girlfriends when I was little and I didn't. This is why some people, I'm coaching them and I'm teaching them and they blow by me and just like all of this. And I'm like, well, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And it's because they're willing to receive and I'm not, right? Or I haven't been up to this point. And I'm changing that and fixing that. And that's the work that we're doing. But if I don't experience the challenge, then I can't teach the challenge and the overcomings of that challenge. And that's kind of what I'm here to do. I'm like the canary in the coal mine. I feel like I go through challenges and obstacles so I can learn what I need to learn so I can teach. And so I can help humanity kind of overcome these things that have plagued human beingness for millennia. All right. So new framework of understanding. And what this is the creation process is clarity, certainty, and commitment. All right. There's tons of episodes on my creation process, clarity, certainty, and commitment. And what it means is you got to get really, really clear about what it is that you want. Get really certain in your body, right? Build certainty. And I'm going to explain that a little more in your body. And then commitment is take some inspired action, be patient in the process from a place of internal uninterruption where you're locked in on the commitment is more about being locked in on the target. And then when it shows up, receive clarity, certainty, and commitment. I've taught that over and over. This framework builds on that. Okay. This is kind of the expression of that. Let's say this is the appearance of the creation process working. And these are the feeling states that you're going to experience as you learn the creation process and utilize the creation process. And the goal is to climb the ladder climb this ladder. And I call it the ladder of desire. You can also call it the ladder of creation, but I'm referring to it as the ladder of desire because desire is all of these states, right? All of these states like reflect desire, but at the same time, these are the expressions of desire. All the way from the bottom rung, which is the least healthy, the least fulfilling, the least freeing state, all the way up to the highest level. And there's five steps. I'm going to go through each of them. Okay. And hopefully it helps. It certainly has helped me, but these overlap with the creation process. So this isn't a different creation process. These are just the expressions of the creation process being used. Okay. So this inspiration came when I was on my run the other day because some of the best downloads and some of the best information I get is when I am running. And I've been studying this for 10 years and I just moved my head. If you're watching on video, I just pointed to a stack of books. Okay. That are right behind my head. But even if you can't see it, these books are they all talk about the creation process. I'll call them the Sacred Seven. Books like Think and Grow Rich, books like Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, The Science of Getting Rich, As a Man Thinketh, right? The Strangest Secret, all of these books, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Guys, they all say the same thing. And I'm just trying to provide a little more clarity and a little more understanding around this, okay? Nothing new under the sun, but hopefully these expressions help you like they've helped me. The bottom rung of desire, and this is where I say that most people are creating from, okay? Or trying to create from. The bottom rung and the bottom voice, the bottom feeling state of desire is need. Okay. Now, we do have needs. Human beings do have needs. And I refer to them, I was taught, and I refer to them as owner: oxygen, water, nutrition, exercise, and rest. Okay. Those are our basic needs: oxygen, water, nutrition, exercise, and rest. Those are our basic needs. When we have those, we kind of sometimes, if we're not careful and intentional, when all of our basic human needs are met, then we start to look for things that we want and we turn them into needs. All right. And we confuse our wants with our needs, and where we start to express that, there's things that we say we need to be okay, but we don't really need them to be okay. All right. And we confuse all of these needs and desire and wants, and we're going to get to want in a little bit. That's another expression. But when we are coming at the creation process from a place of need, where I need more money in my bank account, I need this strategy to work out, I need another client, I need a new car, I need whatever. When we're coming at this thing from need, we are making it a lot harder than it needs to be, because it's coming from this place, this internal conflict place that says, if I don't have it, I won't be okay. And that is just not true. Oxygen, water, nutrition, exercise, rest. That's what we need. Okay. We desire things outside of ourselves. We desire going on nice vacations and a more robust bank account. We desire a bigger business. We desire these things, but we don't need these things. Okay. We don't need these things. And when we're trying to create from this place, from a place of need, some folks, right? Some grind gurus, hustle whores, they talk about be obsessed with the goal, and almost like if your internals aren't on fire, then, and they're actually like helping us create from a place of need, which basically puts you feel like there's something wrong if you're a failure, you're broken or whatever, if you can't create it, because there's somewhere in your operating system, this need is saying, I won't be okay if this thing doesn't show up in my life. Okay, that's the bottom rung. Hopefully that one makes sense, and I believe most people are operating from that one. So next rung up, okay, the second rung of the ladder of desire is want. Okay, separate from need. Need is this feeling that I won't be okay if I don't have it. Want is almost like it's a lesser tone, a lesser volume of that just says that there's something, I am incomplete, or there's something missing, and this will fill the void. Okay, so in essence, what we're saying is, and when we're creating from a place of want, when we're trying to create from a place of want, that says there's an internal conflict in me. There's an internal space. There's an internal gap. There's some kind of internal problem that I'm experiencing. There's some kind of internal scarcity. There's something missing inside of me, in my body. And what I feel is, if I get this thing, then it'll be complete. And that is one of, or maybe it is, you're looking at it as it is a missing piece. It is the missing piece, but sometimes it's just the missing piece, because as soon as we get that, it reveals another missing piece. Okay. And if you've ever experienced going from, moving from goal to goal, and just as soon as you achieve the goal, you just move it. You just move the target. You just move the goal, and nothing changes. No quality of life changes. This is operating from want. You just keep wanting more, because you feel like something's missing, but you never quite get your hands wrapped around it. Okay. Most times when you're going from goal to goal, when you're creating and receiving, and it's not changing the quality of your internal environment, then you're creating from this space where there's something missing in you, and you're trying to solve that. Okay. Bottom rung is need, from I'm not okay, I won't be okay if I don't have it, to want. There's something missing in me, and this will help me feel more whole and complete. All right. But you're still doing it. You're still doing these two for emotions. Okay. You're trying to fill the emotional tank. The next rung, the next ladder, or the next step on the ladder of desire, is the preferences. Okay. But there's a little bit of neutrality to preferences. Okay. This is like when you like pizza and you like wings, or you like, I'm a big lover of Asian cuisine, where I love Chinese food. No, let me say I love Thai and I love Indian. And I might at that moment have a preference for one or the other. But even if I get my preference, right? Even if I get my preference, I don't feel like I've lost anything. I'm just deciding between two things. And there's a certain neutrality to that. Okay. It's just a preference. Like, I prefer the daytime because I get to sit in the sun, but nighttime's pretty awesome too because I get to see beautiful stars, right? I love the daytime because I can see the beautiful trees, nighttime because I can see the stars. But there's a certain neutrality there that, we prefer something, but it doesn't create the pain, doesn't create this internal conflict. Excuse me. Doesn't create the internal conflict, and it doesn't create this internal lack inside of us. It's just a preference. Okay. And I think we're going to stop here. And I want to make sure that we understand that as we're moving up this ladder of desire, we're loosening and lessening our attachments to the outcome. Okay. As we move up the ladder, the intensity of emotion is decreasing. Okay. The intensity of lack, of abundance, or of lack, of scarcity is lessening. As we go up the ladder, the intensity of the experience is decreasing, and the attachment to the outcome is decreasing. And I think that's really, really important and prominent to say. And that's why we just reached the place of neutrality. Okay. Now we're going to move into two of the more creative, okay, where things really, really get fun and really get experiential, let's just say, because we're doing it in some cases. These next two levels, we're doing it for funsies. All right. We're looking to experience something instead of doing it to try to solve some internal conflict or some inner freaking thing that's got us, raveled inside. All right. The next level is basically the creative part of this, where we cast a vision. And when you talk about the sacred seven, that they're talking about vision. They're talking about getting clear in your mind about what it is you want and building it, almost like building it mentally before you build it physically. All right. And when we cast the vision in the world, when we see it clearly, when we see something clearly in our mind, it is true that life starts to rearrange itself, and life starts to rearrange around this vision and around this thing, and starts to create opportunity, starts to provide opportunities for us to experience this. Because I truly do believe this with every cell in my body, that God, life, the universe, whatever it is, wants for us whatever we want for ourselves. And when we get into the creative space, the cast your vision, and then we'll move on to the last step. When we start to get really, really clear, clarity is a very creative force. Sometimes just getting clear, when we're clear, when we discern between what we want and what we don't want from a clarity perspective, then this whole thing becomes so much easier. Okay. So where this is really the mental realm, and where I said the soul carries the vision, the mind creates, and the body receives, this vision is the mental work. This is the mind creating. Okay. And whatever you can see clearly inside your mind's eye, you can create in this world. Right. Every skyscraper started from a vision. Every successful business started from a vision. Okay. Everything starts with a thought. Every creation, everything that you can look at that is created by man, that is built by man, that is attained by man, has started with a single thought, a vision. Okay. And when we get clear about that, it becomes very creative force, because that's how we create. We create with the mind's eye. All right. And the mind. In the Choose Your Destiny live intensives when I was hosting those workshops regularly, which we'll do again at some point in the near future. We did a lot of vision work to get clear about what we wanted in our life. In fact, it was really the first day, because most people know exactly what they don't want and wake up every day to avoid it. Very few people are super clear about what they do want and work actively on a daily basis to create it. Most people are playing defense and trying to avoid what they don't, instead of playing offense and create what they do. All right. Bottom rung is need, where I won't be okay if I don't get it. There's still some question. Next step is want. There's something that I'm missing inside of me. There's something that's incomplete, and this will fill some of that gap or fill all the gap, but it never really fills the gap. You've got preference, where you like both. You'll be okay with both, but one, you prefer over the other, but you don't feel lack, or you don't feel like disappointment if you get the other. And then vision, casting a vision in the world, which is the creative part of this process. Now, here's the last ladder, or the last step on the ladder. Now, this is the one that I'm pointing again to my Sacred Seven. This is the one that some of these books say this, and some of them don't. Okay, some of them help us understand how to do this, and some of them just don't even mention them. And this is really embodiment work. Okay, this is where we move from the mind to the body, from creating to receiving. Right? I like to call this. Okay, this is my word, and I'm gonna use this out. I'm gonna give you the kind of definition around, and kind of the essence and the energy that I've baked around this word for the ladder of desire. The word I like to use is anticipate. Do you anticipate this thing flowing into your life? Do you anticipate it? Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you are always hunting for it. It doesn't mean that you are expecting it and you're obsessed with it and whatever, and you're not going to give up until you have it. This is that almost like an anticipation that sometimes some people anticipate good things happening in their life, and some people anticipate not so good things happening in their life. And that anticipation is in our body. That anticipation is inside of us. That anticipation, are you anticipating your vision flowing into your life? Or are you doubting? Is there worry? Is there doubt? Is there fear? Are you still holding some sense of lack, some sense of scarcity, some sense of you're just hoping, right? Hope is the opposite of anticipation. Anticipation and hope are moving in opposite directions. Hope is just kind of a wish, where an anticipation is almost like it's you understand that it will happen because God wants for you whatever you want for yourself. And it's not an if, it's a when. And this is the commitment part of the creation process. Clarity, certainty, commitment. This is the commitment. Just stay in the game long enough and it will show up. This is the anticipation, all right? And you literally feel, in anticipation, you feel so locked in. It's not an if, it's a when. And it's not like you have to do anything more to earn it or deserve it. You literally just go about your life. You live your life. You take some inspired action, and you just wait for it to show up, and you wait patiently for it to show up. And when it shows up, you take receipt of it, because it's already yours, because you've already released all the worry, the fear, the guilt, the shame, the selfishness. You've released all of this inner baggage that would create resistance. And your body is just so tuned into it. Your body already feels like you already possess it. And this is why it's called embodiment. There's a great book by one of my favorite authors, Neville Goddard, and it's called The Feeling is the Secret. And he talks about how the fact that once you feel that you are already in possession of it, then that if goes away. And also in Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, it says the same thing. So does The Science of Getting Rich. These books that in my Sacred Seven, these books address the emotional part of this, the body part of this, but they don't say that the body receives. They just say, and these aren't the only teachers that teach this thing. Walk as if it's already yours. This is the essence of the anticipation of your dream. Soul carries a dream, mind creates, the body receives. And once your body is so tuned into it, also, some new age folks call it the law of attraction, that you're attracting you're raising your vibration, and that vibration attracts higher level vibrations, and you're a vibratory match. This is all saying the same thing. You are literally, in those terms, you are literally the frequency of the thing that you desire, because you embody it. It's in your body. It's already true in your body. Then you anticipate it showing up. You don't hope it shows up. You don't wish it shows up. You anticipate it showing up, right? And this is some of the other work that we did in the Choose Your Destiny live intensives, that we moved from the vision part on day one into the embodiment work on day two. And although I didn't have the language, and I wasn't quite yet in a place where I could articulate what we were doing. We were literally creating a body that's willing and able to receive, because your nervous system has one job and one job only, and that's to keep you alive. It keeps you alive by trying to keep you in familiar circumstances, and it tries to keep you in familiar circumstances because it knows how to keep you alive there. All right. And this is why sometimes we get really, really close to getting what we desire, and then we back off because the nervous system is threatened by new circumstances. And this is why self-sabotage happens. And this is why someone will procrastinate, because their body, their nervous system is hesitating, because new circumstances, new experiences feel threatening to the nervous system. And when we do this last step and we do the embodiment work, we are literally, it's almost like we're practicing our body into feeling safe, and we're allowing the new circumstances and experience to live in our body, so that our body actually prepares itself to receive and feel safe in the receptivity of it, right? And in that meditation, Installing Future You, what I have in there is basically 3 parts where you start to experience a little peace. You see it in your mind's eye, right? The vision work. And then I invite you to drop into your body so that you can feel your new reality. And that's all we're doing, is we're tuning your body to your new circumstances. And we're moving you from vision to anticipation. All right, guys, I hope this makes sense. I hope you got some value out of this. I hope that you are doing the work. I'm going to put the link to the meditation package that I have in the show notes. I'm also going to put the YouTube link in case you just want to go to YouTube and grab it. I hope this helps. Get the work moving up the ladder of desire, from need to want, to just having a preference, to the vision work, to it being a reality in your body, and your body just anticipates that it's going to show up. It's not an if and if, it's a when. All right. Hope this helps. See you next week. If I can do anything to help you in the meantime, feel free to reach out. My email address is in the show notes as well. I'm always open to a conversation.